Right, so I just thought I'd do a very short video on the controls of this Monport 80W CO2 laser. I've recently received this into the workshop, and it was not exactly clear to me what all these controls or what all these lights were. But the first and the main one would be your emergency stop. Also, before that'll even work, there is a main power switch on the side that has to be turned on, and of course turned on at the wall socket, which is behind me. So to turn the machine on, you simply take that out of emergency lock. The system will home itself to the back, the far right or the rear right, and then it'll go to the last homed position of whatever the last job is. Now, when you turn this thing on, you'll find that the error light will turn on. These are not labeled yet. I still need to label these. This light is the standby light, the amber or yellow one, and then the green light is operation. So when the laser's operating, when it's lasing and cutting, the green light should be on. Now, that light will come on immediately as you power on. This switch is supposed to be what they call the main switch. There is no label there, so I don't really understand what the main switch actually means. But anyway, you have to turn that on to the right. Then there is this control switch here, or control button, shall I say, that to bring this thing into standby mode, you need to press that, and that'll take it out of the error state and put it into a ready state. Now, if we do open the door, if I can do that, it will immediately put it back into an error state. And because it's an error state, to get it back into standby, you have to press the control switch again. Now, I could do a pulse, just a very short pulse as a test. I won't do that now, but you will not see this green light come on. So when it's actually in operation, this green light will come on. That will turn off, as far as what I can recall. Because I've done a very, very small test. There was one of the some cutting diagram of sorts that they had in it, which was 3 tiny circles. I ran that the other day just to do a very, very quick test. And I can't remember if this amber turns off, but I know that the green one absolutely does turn on. Now, also, when the water circulation for the cooling is turned off, is not running, that will also be in error state. So if I turn the cooler off, which is down this side here, there we go straight into error state. And the moment I turn that on again, it will revert back to being in a ready state. And that is also just a protection mechanism. I believe there are settings that you can disable the water flow, or you can rewire it, but I would not recommend that. Now, when I received this machine, I had no clue what these buttons and switches were, but at least I have a little bit more understanding of what they are now. And when you are about to do some work, you need to turn the laser switch on, which will pull in another contactor, which you might have heard kicking now. Now, you might be hearing some noise in the background. That's actually the refrigeration unit of the cooling system, that when you turn that machine on, after a couple of seconds, it will let that run for 10 or 20 seconds and then turn off if it doesn't need to be doing any cooling. So if I turn that off, you may hear the contactor turn off for the laser. Right. Bit of a noise there. I'll turn it on again. Right, let's try again. There we go. I don't know if you heard that. There we go, and it's back off again. So we're still in ready state for the next job. Now, I've only done one test in this machine, so I don't really know its full capabilities. The one thing that I did not appreciate of the machine, which I'm going to change, and that's this afternoon's job, is the fact that the moment you turn the machine on, the air for blowing the dust away when you laze is on, as well as the extractor fan, which is at the back. Now, the extractor fan is not connected to anything. That's why I don't actually want to do any lasing at the moment until I have that either out the window or some other ducting placed in. And once that's in place, then I will start lasing with the machine, cutting and doing some engraving. So that is really all what I wanted to discuss. Of course, there's this one extra little button over here, this little switch, which is the inside lighting. There's a row of lights at the back. I'm not sure if you can see it from that angle there. You should be able to see the light on there, but the moment we open here, you can actually hear the fan, and you can see a bit of the light at the back there. Now, what I have done is I have done some small tests. I did just a pulse. I don't know if you can see that. I can't see what the camera sees at the moment, but there's a tiny dot there. There are two tiny dots there that I also did a pulse test, and that is the test cut that I did. I did not have extraction on. I don't recommend doing that. It was actually quite a bad smell, even from just that little bit. So I'm not going to be doing any lasing until I have all of those things back in place. So there you have it. If you have a machine with a similar layout from Monport, that is what these controls do. If I turn that off again, it doesn't do anything. If that was in standby and I turn that off, it would automatically take that out of standby. So this, what they call the main switch. So it was just a matter of describing to you what these switches are, because I had no clue. The manual doesn't show it. I've had to contact Monport to solicit that information from them. So that's it from now. Thank you for joining, and please do like and subscribe. And I would appreciate your support, because it'll help my tiny channel a great deal. Thank you, and we'll see you in the next one.